A model steam engine test plant, part 2. Unboxing a package from Blackgates Engineering, refilling my collection of Reilang oil cans, drilling mounting holes in the boiler base, and planning the water tank and condenser layout. Today hasn't started off very well. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning because when my eyes were shut when I was trying to sleep, the left one was quite painful. In the end, I couldn't sleep, so I got up, and it's now 6:30 in the morning, and here am I, sat in my editing room, editing a video and voicing it over. The days of my rock and roll lifestyle are long gone, and besides, they weren't that good anyway. Here, without cutting myself, I'm opening a package from Blackgates Engineering. The package contains the brass for the bases of the water tank and condenser, a reverser mounting casting for the Sweet Pea locomotive I'm working on, and some half-inch square pieces of mild steel, which is going to make other parts of the Sweet Pea locomotive. Everything I get from Blackgates Engineering in the post is always very well packed in newspaper, including the 4 pieces of mild steel, and you just seen me wipe off all the rust preventative oil that the things are covered in. These parts are obviously nothing to do with the current project I'm working on, but I needed to include them as part of the unboxing sequence. I put these parts on the side bench next to the Sweet Pea that's partially dismantled. This Sweet Pea series should be quite interesting, and there's a lot to do. I bought it part finished just to speed up the process. I was actually at Blackgates Engineering last week, and I bought myself another oil can. And I also have 3 smaller Reilang oil cans, one of which I fitted a very long extension pipe to. I'll show you them shortly. This is a great feature of the superb quality Reilang oil cans that I usually buy. This feature gives a constant oil feed when you're using the oil can. This is the type of oil that I use. It's Hallett steam oil, very good quality. This is the compounded cylinder oil, and you can get it from the address on screen. This cylinder oil is very thick and gloopy. As you can see, it doesn't come out of the can very fast, and I always overfill these. I know I could use a funnel, but then I would have a sticky, oily funnel in the workshop that would attract dirt and bits of metal particles. I prefer to do it this way. It's a fairly quick clean-up. With the steam oil now safely inside the larger of my Reilang oil cans, I'm now going to fill another couple of oil cans using this stuff, compounded bearing oil. It's not for cylinders, it's for the bearings. And once again, the Hallett Oil website address is on screen. These lubricants really are good quality. How did I find out about this stuff? Well, when I went to Bancroft Mill, I was given a small amount to try, and it was so good I bought quite a lot of it. If it's good enough for the full-size steam engines, it's good enough for my model ones. Here is a gratuitous shot of just 3 of my Reilang oil cans. I have another 2, a large one and a small one, that live in the workshop built onto my kitchen. I cannot stress how important it is to have the correct lubricants for your model steam engines. Over now to what this video was really supposed to be about, planning the condenser and the special water tank. There's nothing too difficult to understand here. The square pieces of brass form the bases and also the caps. Obviously for the caps I will need to machine them down to make them round. And the strange looking tank on the right is my design to allow me to use a live steam injector and use the larger part of the tank to catch the water overflow from the injector. Also the water feed to the hand pump and an extra auxiliary feed for other pumps will be taken from the lower tank, because the water in the lower tank will be warm, as most of it will be coming from the injector's overflow. With a miniature steam locomotive or even a full-size locomotive, you don't need a tank to catch the water, as it just pours out of the injector's overflow onto the ground. I've built one of these tanks before and it was very successful, so I'm going to repeat the process for this boiler plant. And the idea of the boiler plant is to just have a standard boiler complete with a condenser and the special water tank to run the smaller type of engines. For larger steam engines, I would normally use my Castle Steam V6 boiler, which is definitely a thing of beauty. Castle Steam are working on a new boiler design called a V8, an 8-inch diameter boiler, and I've put my name down for one of those. I look forward to using it with the Stuart 5As that I have. Here's the base for the boiler, and I was going to remove the stretchers and make it a lot better, but when I thought about the job in a bit more detail, I realised this was unnecessary. All I need to do is drill 4 mounting holes in these pieces of brass angle, and when the entire unit is bolted down to the baseboard, it's not going to move when I tighten up the 2 boiler bands that hold the boiler to the base. I measured 2 inches in from each end. I marked the positions with a felt tip pen, and here I'm using a digital caliper to make sure that all the holes are in the same place. Over now to the drilling machine, fitted with a 3/16 of an inch diameter twist drill to drill the holes. I never hold small parts in my fingers on a drilling machine, but this isn't a small part, and if the drill grabs, I can easily control it. I never over-tighten the drive belts on drilling machines, so if anything does grab, if the drill doesn't break, as a last resort, the belt will slip. In this clip I'm cleaning up the area of the brass which was marked by the felt tip pen. The Scotch-Brite is also deburring the holes to a certain extent. These pieces of brass angle were just fitted as they'd been sawn, and the edges weren't square anyway. I took the base into the outer part of my workshop and using my 4-inch belt sander, I squared off the ends. I checked this by using a set square. In this clip I'm using a piece of emery cloth just to clean up the edges so they aren't sharp. The base is looking a lot better now. I'm not going to go over the top, but I couldn't live with it not being square and generally thrown together. Yesterday I ordered some more of this HMG Paints Black Satin C71 enamel paint. Here's the very last tin and there's not much in it. I use it a lot and it's the best stuff I've ever used. Perfect for almost all model applications. It's not too satin and it's not too glossy. And it's not too matte, it's just right. I will be painting the tanks using this, and I hadn't thought about it, but I will also paint the base too. The contrast between the brass bands on the boiler and the black base should look pretty good. And that is it for this video. There's quite a way to go yet on this boiler plant, but because of its increased water capacity, being a water tube boiler, and also having twin flues with 2 gas burners, means that it should theoretically produce quite a lot of steam. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists, and by doing that you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.